a hilariously clutch game because I screwed up so bad, but somehow I won. So it's my turn. I start out here. This is the most common opening. He plays this, the Carol Khan defense. So it's pretty cool. Chess.com, if you have a membership, you actually can get its moves. So let's see what happens. So this is kind of, it would play what would happen, right? So anyways, so he plays Carol Khan. Then I take the center, right? Because he's not taking the center. So he challenges me here. This was really funny. I made a mistake here. I didn't let this affect me. My real blunders were later. I moved the knight here, even though I was trying to protect this one. I don't know why. And I was like, wait, he's trying to capture this pawn. So he takes my pawn, right? That was a free pawn. I was like, oops. So I just moved my knight forward, right? When in doubt, move forward. When in doubt, control the center. So I sacrificed the pawn for a center. I wasn't intending that. That was a blunder on my part, but I made the best of it, right? So that was okay. That was okay. You know, this in a way was a prediction as to how I was going to play this whole game. So anyways, watch this. So he moves this knight up, developing his knight to control the center a little bit. I moved the bishop. You overlooked an opportunity to threaten checkmate. You allowed the opponent to win tempo by threatening a bishop. I see. Let's see what could have happened. So he could have done that. Okay, I see. So let's go back here. It's really cool to see the analysis. So anyways. Oh, this is so cool. Look at that. So you actually can kind of see how this is real. I'm definitely going to look at this more. I don't want to bore you guys with its hypotheticals because you guys want to see how I failed, right? Okay, so I move the bishop. He moves the knight, right, to protect his knight and to develop this knight and to threaten my knight. Right now, there's an exchange going on, potentially. No one's going to come out on top, but... So I accidentally make this move. So it said I should have done that. This was really fail. I was thinking of moving this here, which I guess now I know you should move this here, develop the knight, right? But I accidentally clicked up here. So this was, I clicked wrong. See, look at my percentage of winning. I clicked wrong. So already he's in the lead. The opponent's in the lead. So then he moves here, which is a mistake, right? Because if you look, the knight can't control, it can't move this way. So it's losing its control of the board. So he moves here. I moved there to kind of protect this pawn because I realized I messed this up. Because I assumed if he moved here, he would try to threaten here, right? He'd try to threaten this pawn. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. Just full disclosure. I didn't know what I was thinking at this point because I knew I messed up already. So he moves this pawn, right, to give his bishop a place to move and his king some wiggle room if anything happens. But of course, he's trying to castle. So I move my knight up finally. In a weird way, my pieces are more developed than his, even though I'm not doing too well. So he moves his bishop to threaten my knight. And now he's pinned my knight, right? Because it's a check here. So I moved my queen up. That wasn't the best move per se. I did it because I was thinking once you castle, you got to line these up. Again, guys, I'm a beginner, okay? I'm a beginner. Watch and see. Somehow I saved this. The computer thinks that he's got this. So he castles, overlooks an opportunity. Oh, I see. To win a queen. What does that mean? Oh, he could have gone there to win a queen. Really? I could have just taken... it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So anyways. So he castles. I put my pawn up there to threaten his knight. And the computer thinks that's a really, really bad move. Right? Of course, he doesn't see it. So he moves his knight over here to challenge my knight and my bishop. So he's forking me, right? F-O-R-K, YouTube, forking me. And he's protecting his bishop. Also, this is almost a decoy, right? Because if I take him, he can take my queen. So he's trying a bunch of things. I see through this because at this point, I've made enough mistakes. I realize, okay, I'm not going to make more mistakes, right? So I move this here. First of all, to develop it, but second, to also protect my knight. Now, the thing is, if he decides to trade with me, he's still going to win out because he takes a rook. Like we saw here, if he moves here, he's threatening my queen too. And he's going to exchange a bishop first. There's a lot of things he could have done better, but he just didn't see it because he was too focused here. He didn't see that he had a potential with a pawn here. So I don't know why. He got intimidated, dude. He could have just taken the trade. He would have won out. But I think I psyched him out, even though he's doing better. So I moved the bishop here because I want a castle. That's why. Okay. So the computer doesn't understand this move. It says you're going to end up losing a bishop. So let's go back there. So let's see what happens. He moves his bishop here. He's confused right now. He doesn't know what I'm doing because, again, I'm not playing like a intermediate. I'm playing like an extreme beginner. I take his knight, right? Because I'm like, that's perfect. It's less pressure for me. So I think he takes with the wrong pawn, honestly. Yeah, exactly. He should have moved. Yeah, exactly. So he should have taken with that pawn. When I saw him use that pawn, I realized, okay, I've psyched him out. So he takes with the wrong pawn. So the computer also agrees, should have taken with that pawn. So now I move my knight here. This was the biggest blunder. Watch this. He takes my knight. And at this point in my chat, I didn't say I was going to lose, but I like made a smiley face like, oops. And he's like, ha 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 ha. So look at that. The computer knows that Jerry has 0 shot, right? I'm like, you know what? In a way, my pieces are more developed than his. I say, you know what? Let's just keep going. So I castle to develop this rook. I'm not castling defensively. I'm being very offensive. So he moves this bishop here to threaten my rook. Very good trade, right? That would have been a good trade. So I move this bishop here. I'm going to start attacking. And I think I psych him. Oh, never mind. I don't psych him. So I attack with that rook because I need my rook to be lined closer to the king, right? And then he moves the queen, right? The reason is because now he has protection. So if he takes my knight, I take his bishop, then he takes my queen. So he moves his queen. I take the knight, right? I get rid of pieces here. This forces a double pawn in front of your opponent's queen. Exactly. So I'm going to open this up. So this was a sacrifice. This was a sacrifice, but it made my endgame worth it. See, now he's kind of stuck, man, right? He's only got these pieces if he moves this out of the way. So I was planning my endgame. I knew I've studied endgames enough that I could salvage this potentially if he's not looking at my pieces. And he was not looking at my pieces. So I move this pawn here. You let your opponent capture a knight and win material. So he captures. This was his biggest mistake. The reason I moved there was because I wanted to bait him to get me, thinking he had an advantage, so that way I could attack with the rook. That's why I did that. So the computer doesn't understand that because, again, I'm thinking like a beginner, but that's my strategy. I moved here because I wanted to bait him so that way I can develop my rook. So see, I developed my rook, and now he moves this pawn, which was a very, very bad idea. The reason he moved the pawn was because he wanted to protect it. He didn't like the stacked pawn, but the computer knows this permits me to force an eventual checkmate. So let me show you what I do, and then I'll show you an even better way. So immediately, I move my queen here. So he basically only has one place to go, here. He cannot go anywhere because he's trapped. So he goes here, and this is where I do it slightly inefficiently. I'll show you what I do, okay? And then we'll go back to see how I could have made it in 2 steps instead of 3. I move my rook this way to line them up, but I sort of gave up a move. So he moves the queen back to threaten my queen. Not the worst idea. I got my eyes on the prize. Look at this. That was checkmate. That was checkmate. So let's go back and see how I could have made it in 2 moves. I could have gone here, right? What would he have done? He had to have gone here, right? This is his only way to go. Then I could have gone here. That was checkmate. He can't go anywhere else, right? He can't go anywhere else. So I could have checkmated in 2 moves, but I checkmated in 3 moves. Again, guys, I'm a very beginner. Not my worst game, considering I blundered 3 times, man. Let's see how many times I blundered, according to the computer. The computer claims I blundered twice. I didn't do well, but I saved this. Because when in doubt, study your endgames. I didn't even have the best endgame. But look at that. I was down 6 points. A bishop and a knight is worth 3 points. A pawn is 1 point. A rook is 5 points. And a queen is 9 points. I was down 6 points because he took both my bishops and a knight and a rook. He should have had this, but he didn't pay attention to my squares, right? He was only thinking about himself. On top of that, once he messed up with the pawns, and he also got baited to let me develop my rook, he was done because this had nowhere to move. It's a castle for a reason. If one of the pieces isn't here, it's not a castle anymore. I played brilliantly at the end, even though I could have even played better. But considering how badly I was losing, this was one of my best games ever. So that's why I wanted to make a video. I've never made a video on my chess playing. As you guys know, I have a lot to go on. I have a lot to improve on. However, I'm getting better. I guarantee you I'm getting better. As of now, just watch my videos to see how extreme beginners learning. So hope you guys enjoyed. This was JerryCricket. And thank you, Dorbook, my opponent, giving me one of the biggest lessons. This is not just a chess lesson, it's a good lesson in life. Don't give up easily, man. I blundered 3 times at least, but you know what? It's fine. I still won because I played clutch at the end. Pace of the game, how you can take pieces to both develop and attack at the same time, right? Don't always think about retreat. Pay attention to vision. See both your vision and your opponent's vision. I keep not looking for my opponent's vision, and he definitely didn't look for my vision, so he allowed this endgame to happen. Okay, guys, talk to you guys next time.